All right, welcome everybody for the next session. That is a week 8 on Python. Okay, so what are the topics we covered in the week 7 session is the very important topic that is a data type. One of the data structure, what we use is tuple and as well as list. Okay, and one more we have seen that is a set. So these three different data types have different features, right? One is immutable, one is not mutable, one allows the duplicate values, one doesn't allow us to duplicate. So end of the session, we'll try to again try to compare with each and every data type, not saying which is the best, but we'll try to compare which among like what are the features which are similarities and which are not similar. Okay, and in today's week 8 session, the topic which I would like to cover is dictionaries. Okay, very important data type. So let's begin. So for that, let me just put some notes here. What is a dictionary? Let's try to understand first uh, the theoretical part of in Python. Okay, there's a one more data type. So in this Python, to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity, nothing but like a single variable, multiple values when you want to store, we already seen list, right? We have seen tuples, we have seen sets. Now, if you want to, this is very important. Let me make a note here so that you can understand. In Python, what you have seen so far, let me put as a paragraph. We know how to do that. So in Python, to represent uh, close this, okay, a group of entity, then we have what we have something called uh, use. We have used a list, we have used tuples, we have used sets, right? Sets. So if you want, okay, if you want to represent a group of objects as a key value, let me make it uppercase so that you can remember what does it mean. So uppercase key value pairs, then we should go for dictionaries. Okay. So what it is trying to tell you is in Python, to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity, that is single variable holding a lot of values, right? It could be integers, it could be floating, it could be uh, other strings. Okay, so we have used a list, tuples, sets, and if you want to represent a group of objects, then we need to use a key value pairs. Then we should go for the dictionary. So this is very important, key value pairs. So let's assume like in this group we have three Harinis, right? So how do we recognize them in a classroom? If you have 50 people, out of which 10 student names or 10 employee names are same, so how you're going to identify in case of employees, they have some specific employee ID, right? In a classroom, they have some rule number. So that's how we identify. Okay, with if I want to call some one particular name, I can refer their key value, key in the sense the number, rule number. Okay, let me put this way. Okay, key one is value. So what if I want to call some person called Harini and I'm representing her with a key called 100. And we have a second key that is 101 and the same value. The value can be again same because we have two Harinis, right? So we are trying to represent one is with 100 and one is with 101. So what I'm trying to say is like we try to use this key value pair system in order to retrieve the uh, information from your dictionary. Dictionary is like it's a kind of again what you're talking about, it's a data structure, right? It's a data type where you're trying to store a lot of information, but we are going to call that information not directly the way we work with a list or tuples or sets, but we are going to call them with the keys. But keys, when you talk about the keys, obviously they should be unique. What if I say both Harinis and both the key values are 100? No, it doesn't make any sense, right? So we need to have something called a unique keys, but values can be duplicated. But because we have two Harinis, so in that case, Harini, we have two values, but the key should be always unique. So that is what the key value means. But before we actually get into the demonstration part, let's try to see what are the rules we have or points to be remembered, or we can say characteristics, or simply let's talk about the features. Okay. So the first one, dictionary. Dictionary will contain data in the form of key value pairs. Okay, it's going to contain the data in the form of key and value pair. So what is a key here? 100. What is a value here? Harini. So Harini is being identified now with a key called 100. That's how it works, right? So the next one, key and values are represented, or maybe we can say uh, not represented, but we can say separated by a colon. Okay. So far I was using a comma separator. When I say 10, 20, like I'm using in between 10 and 20, I'm using comma, right? In between names also, A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D. So that's how I'm trying to separate the values which I'm storing in a variable. But now on, especially when I'm talking about a dictionary, what I need to do is between the key and value, I need to use something called a symbol operator, or nothing but colon. So let's see, 100 is my key, colon, and Harini is my name. So what does it mean is 100 is a key and Harini is a value. In between that, how we are grouping together or separating them together, not grouping, it's separating together, separating them is by using a colon. Then again, we have to go for the next key. So that's how you can have as many as keys, as many as values. So every key should have some kind of a value. You cannot have directly value, right? Monty, Ronnie, Aisha, these are three strings. So these strings, if nothing but a values, but if it doesn't have a keys, then it cannot be called as a dictionary. So let's try to see what are the other things. So it is going to be separated by the colon symbol. Let me put that as well, symbol. Okay. The next one, one key, we can say one key value pair can be represented as an item. Okay. So one key value, 100 colon Harini, is called item, right? So that way we can have as many items possible. Okay. Now I cannot say value because value means Harini. Key means 100. So this command is called as a one item in the dictionary. How to start the dictionary and all we'll see, but this is a basic points to be remembered before we actually go for the demonstration. The next important thing is duplicate keys are allowed or not. That is what important we need to focus, because we've been trying to understand in case of a tuples, in case of a list, sets. Okay, in some one case it is accepted, one case it is not accepted. In case of dictionary, then what is it allowed or not? It is not allowed. Okay, we cannot have duplicate keys, right? In case of values, yes, we can go as many as 10 harinis we have. We can use 10 harini names as a values, but keys should be unique. That's how I can represent them. Okay, that's how in the room of class 50 people, 50 people will have each individual a rule number, which is a unique, but names can be similar. In the same kind of example, if you take any company, okay, any organization where we have 1,000 employees, 1,000 employees will, every employee will have a unique employee ID, and names would be similar, doesn't matter. Okay, the names can be similar, but what I'm saying is that employee ID should be unique always. So duplicate keys are not allowed, please. So the next one is duplicate values are not allowed or allowed. That's a question. Okay, duplicate values are allowed. It's not allowed. Allowed because that's what I'm saying. In 100 people, there might be 10 people where the names are similar, same. Okay, so duplicate keys are not allowed, but the values are allowed. So that's an important note we need to understand. Next, heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. What does it heterogeneous mean? We've been talking about it now so far. That is, heterogeneous is nothing but different type of different data type values, objects are allowed for both keys and values. What does it mean? That means instead of using numbers like 100 colon Harini, I can also say A colon Harini, B colon Harini, C colon Tej, D colon Monty, I can use a string combination. I can use a numeric combination. That's what we mean about heterogeneous objects are allowed, right? We have seen in every case like heterogeneous is ever allowed. I can use the complete set with the numbers only, complete set only with the floating, complete set with the strings. Same way list follows the same thing, and even your tuple follows the same thing. So heterogeneous, just remember this word. Heterogeneous means any different data type. So next one, very important again. Okay, we've been talking about this again. Insertion. Okay, whatever the data we are inserting, order is preserved. Okay, preserved in case of previous data types, but here it is not preserved. In case of sets also, it's not preserved. That means the way I'm storing the names, the way I'm storing the keys, there is no guarantee when I try to give the output, it will be in the same order. No, the order will not be same. That is what it is saying. Insertion order, insertion data order is not preserved. Okay, for the first one, if you remember, list is preserved. Okay, for the tuple it is reserved. For the set it is not reserved. That means it will display the way it wants. We have seen the example also 10, 20, 30, 40 when I'm written, but when I'm trying to display output, 40 is coming as the first one, 30 is coming as the second. It depends. Okay, that's how the it's storing in the computer memory. So let's go for the next one. That is okay, we got huge points here. For next one, in dictionary, dictionary objects having mutable nature. Now, what is mutable again? Okay, we've been talking about it again. Mutable is changeable. Okay, that can be changed. You created something, you can change anytime. Unmutable, once it is created, you can never change it. Example, I've been talking about it. Weekdays, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These you can never change. This is fixed, right? So those are fixed. That is unimmutable. Those are immutable. What is mutable? Anytime, anything can be changed. So that is about the dictionary. And let's talk about one more thing. That is, I keep using this indexing and slicing concepts are applicable or not. That's a question. Please comment on the, put it in the chat. Is it applicable or not applicable? Applicable. Okay. Put it in the chat. Is it indexing and slicing concepts are applicable for the dictionary or not? Think about what you have done with the list. Think about what you have done for the tuple. Think about what you have done with the sets. Indexing and slicing were playing very important role there. But do you have that role here? That is what my question is. So let me see what you have put in the chat window. Not applicable, as Teswarup says. Chinmay says changeable. Uh, okay, not. Satvik is also saying not. Excellent. Why? Can somebody tell me why it is not applicable? Because of only one reason: the order is not followed. Right? The order is not followed. Had it been the order is followed, I can really use index of 0. Please get me the number. Index of 1. Please get me the letter. I can even use 0:3. Get me all the 3 letters, 2 letters, or what so on. So here it is not applicable. So whenever you think about not in order, always remember the index and slicing operators never can be applicable. Okay, now let's try to see how to create this interesting dictionary, which is going to be very interesting topic. How to create a dictionary in Python. Okay, basically we are going to follow some syntax. So let me write the syntax as the starting only the syntax. Let me write syntax, basically how it looks like, the skeleton, what I mean. Okay, let me take a variable called d. Okay, nothing wrong, you can use anything as a variable, but the question is what I'm going to use. It is a flower bracket, is it a square bracket, is it round bracket, what style I'm going to adopt here. Okay, if you remember when I'm talking about the sets, I was using a different. Okay, let me just put it once again. Square bracket, we have something called round brackets, we have something called flower brackets. Okay, three different style of giving storing the data we have seen. In case of a list, it was quite clear. It is you need to use the square brackets. If you use a round brackets, that means opening and closing parentheses. When you use the second model, that is for the tuple, right? So when you use a flower brackets, that represents sets. But if you have seen the very first example of sets, and if you remember, when I'm using the flower brackets and when I'm trying to check the type, it was telling me not set, but it is telling me dictionary. So what I mean is the dictionary also starts with flower brackets. Yes, it is also starts with flower brackets. Okay, so dictionary starts with the flower brackets here, just like your sets. But the difference I'm going to show you now, which you can easily identify, this could be the one of the important question to differentiate because both are following the same pattern, right? Flower brackets they are using. The moment you see flower brackets, you can't even judge saying that it is a set. You can't even say it's a dictionary. We don't know what it is, though it is starting with the flower brackets. So we need to understand the kind of format of data which you are providing in the dictionary, then you need to identify it's a dictionary. If you are providing the kind of style of data what you're providing in the sets, then you need to identify it as called as a sets. So what it follows is basically, let me talk about first the sets again. I'm using 10, 20, 30, 40 something. Now straight away I can say it is a set a data type, right? Set data type. But if you want to identify, let me put as a one more. Let me say this is a set type example. And here I will try to use D equal to, I'm using the same flower brackets, there's no difference, but how I'm going to differentiate here is I'm going to use key 1. How I'm going to separate by colon. You can see the third line is saying like separated by a colon. Colon you need to separate. So you need to say value. Okay, I'm done with my first job. 100 colon Harini. It's done. Now let me use a comma here. I want to say key 2 colon. Then I want to say value. 101 colon or whatever the number might be. Ensure that it's not duplicated. Keys can never be duplicated. That's what you have written. Duplicate values are allowed, but duplicate keys are not allowed. That's the difference. So here next I want to go for, and how long I can keep going keys as long as you have the data. There's no limit. Your machine should support how much data you're trying to store. It's like as simple as that, like the way you are storing somebody's your friend's phone number in the phone book. Okay, you provide the phone number, you also provide the name, right? So if you want to call somebody, you are going to find differentiate with the phone number either with the name. So that's how the way you're storing in the phone book. Here I'm trying to store all my information in the form of dictionary, but not a single value, but in the form of what do you call as key and value pair. So that's what I was referring. So I'll quickly again go through all the points so that you can just while demonstrating each example you'll not have any confusion. So the first square brackets, again I repeat, square brackets we use for list, rounded brackets we use for tuple. When I use flower brackets, I'm not sure what I'm using. Is it a set or uh, dictionary? But how I can recognize if I see only individual items, what is provided, whether it's string, numbers, or formats, uh, what do you call, uh, float integers. That's how I can say it is a set. But when I look at dictionary, it's easily differentiated, though it is starting with the flower brackets, it's easily differentiated because I'm using key 1 value, key 2 value, key 3 value. So how many keys? Okay, you can use as many as keys you want, no problem at all. So dictionary will contain data in the form of key and value values. That's the first point to be remembered. And key and values are separated by always colon. Yes, I'm following the instruction. One key pair can be represented as one item. So that means from key to value, this is called as one item. This is called as a second item, and this is called as a third item, and so on and so forth, right? So duplicate keys are not allowed. So key 1, key 2, key 3 are not repeated keys names. So if I see key 2, this is wrong. It should be something else unique. As long as I'm not saying it should be 1 2 3 straight away, it could be 10 20 30, it could be 40 56, but ensure that it's not duplicated. That's what it keeps saying. Duplicate values are allowed. That is value here, it could be same, it could be same, it could be same also, not a problem. Heterogeneous objects are allowed for the both the keys and values. That means you can use integers, you can strings. You know what is heterogeneous means by this time. In insertion of data, the way I'm creating the data, it should give me the output the same. But the problem with the dictionary is the order is not preserved. If the order is preserved, I will see the output the way I'm writing. First I've written 100, then I've written 200, 300, but there's no guarantee it will try to print in the same fashion the way you have written 100, 200, 300. May or may it may not. I mean, it will not print that output as it is. Dictionary objects have mutable nature. What does that mean? That means it can be changed anytime. But very importantly, indexing and slicing concepts are not applicable at all, right? So these are the a few points to be remembered, which is quite clear on my screen right now. Let me increase little font size. Yeah. All right, so let me run this. Okay, now you can see a beautiful notes. You can easily understand this now. Now let's try to create a very first dictionary. Okay, very first dictionary. How to create that? So let's go back and see what was the last example I've taken. That is 98 example. Let me go back to the new cell and 99. Here I'm going to create my first dictionary. Okay, DICT. That's how it's says in Python, not dictionary. It will say DICT. That's how it shows. So how to create now? So let me say DIC1. My wish. It's a variable name. I can give anything, right? As long as I'm following the rules, I keep saying this. So equals to is nothing but you're assigning. Even if you go for a fundamental data types, always equal to symbol is used. Equal to is not to compare apple to apple. It is assignment operator. That's what we studied. If you use double equal to, then means you are trying to compare is apple is equal to apple, is 10 is equal to 10 or not. So that there's a lot of difference between equal to and double equal to. Okay, I should not use this as an equal to. Actually, it's an assignment operator. Okay, we are tend to use equal to, but it's an assignment operator. Now what I need to use, the question is, do I need to use square bracket? Do I need to use open parenthesis or closing parenthesis? Whether I need to use flower brackets? Yes, let me go with the flower brackets. That's what it says. Okay, we use a flower brackets. Some says it's a curly brackets. Okay, you can use whatever it goes, like randomly use flower brackets or curly brackets. So in the dictionary, what I want to do is I want to say 100 colon, I want to write something called Monty as a first name. So what does it mean here is 100 is a key, Monty is a value. Now my job is done creating one item. Let me go for the second one. 200 colon, I'm saying Ronnie, that is, I'm done with the second item. I'm going for the third item, 300 colon, I'm saying this is Harini as a 300 is for Harini. So I'm not used any duplicate names here, but still let's try to go with the straight one first. That is 100, 200, 300. Monty, Ronnie, and Harini. There are three employees or students, whatever you say, I've stored in the form of dictionary. My dictionary name is as simple as that. It is DIC1. The way I started D is caps, the rest all lowercase. We need to follow the same, right? So now I want to print, I want to see what it is actually, DIC1. So if I want to print, okay, once I print, how the output is going to be, will it show the entire output in a curly braces, is going to show in the square brackets or rounded brackets? Let's try to take a look at it. So once you print it, you can see 100 Monty, 200. So now I'm just trying to pull out my complete information, what I stored in the dictionary, but we'll slowly try to get into the next examples, how you can still modify this. But before that, always religiously try to check what type it is, because I never specified this is a dictionary anywhere, right? I've not specified it is an integer. I've not specified it's string, but I want to know what it is actually. DIC1, it will tell you what it is. What it is? Okay, it is a dictionary. So DICT, it's not dictionary completely spelled out, like it's a DICT 4-letter word. So we have seen the very first example, how to create your first dictionary. Okay, and how to print it, how to check the type also. Okay, now let's go for the next example. That is how to create, how to create, this is 100. Now we want to create an empty dictionary. Okay, we've been using this example quite some time now. For every data type, I started showing you how to create an empty one. Why I'm creating empty one? Because there are chances like you create an empty one, and in the runtime, that means while you're working with a program writing the next steps of line, you can keep adding, because we have that facility, right? We can add, we can remove, we can do that. Or else at the start of the program itself, you can create a complete list of information in the dictionary or in the list or in the tuple. But sometimes it happens like you need to create a blank one, then you will keep adding when as per your requirement, as per the program requirement rather. So creating a dictionary blank, let's say blank a dictionary rather. Okay, blank a dictionary. So how to create this? Very simple. So I need to say DIC2. Okay, DIC2, that's my variable name. Simply I need to use flower brackets. Okay, now let's see what is print. I want to use the type of it. First, I always want to check what is the type of it. A DIC2, Now it's going to tell me what it is. Okay, actually this can be also called as, okay, this can be called as DIC2. What happened? Oh yeah, see, what happened here? So I was trying to check out something else, but if you see the name print is not defined. Of course, we don't have that such kind of a print. We need to use lowercase, right? So let's try to print this now and see it's clearly saying dictionary, though it looks like actually for me set, right? Even when I'm working for the first example, I said as s equal to flower curly braces when I've given, it is still showing dictionary because the priority is given to dictionary, not to the set. Okay, the most common data type is used is dictionary, not your uh, set. So now I understood, okay, when you use the flower brackets, by default, it shows the dictionary rather than set. Okay, and how to convert to the set, we already seen in the previous example. Now that I've created a blank data, blank dictionary, what's the fun? We need to have some values in that, right? So if you don't have any values, there's no meaning for a dictionary or for list or for the tuple, for the set, or for anything for that matter. So what I want to do is I want to say DICE to okay, I want to say within brackets. So I want to add some values. So let's see if I can add that. I'm saying one, okay, or let's say 101 equals to, I'm saying page. Okay, now I want to go for 102 because I need to use, okay, Samat. So what I'm trying to do is here I'm just created three different values. Okay, key and paste. Okay, always remember the very important word to be remembered here: keys and values. What is key here? That is 101. Page is what? It's my value. Samat we have swap now. We have three different values which I'm trying to create. Actually, we can create straight away in the dictionary itself the way I created. But this time I'm trying to do a little different. I want to create a blank dictionary. Then I want to load the values into that. So what I can do is simply try to print and see what happens. Print, then I'm going to say disk2, okay, DIC, no, C2, yeah. Once I try to print, now what you're going to see is we are going to see the same output what we got earlier, right? It is not printing in type of what you call uh, round brackets or square brackets or something else. It is showing exactly the way it has supposed to be shown with the flower brackets, the curly brackets rather. Let me use that one. So this is how we are going to see in the runtime, in the while the program is while you're writing the program, you can also load the values, that is the keys, and as well as uh, numbers or values. So let's see one example. I want to do some error because it's been saying like we have to have, okay, we have to have uh, unique keys, right? If you need to have a unique case, what happens if I try to give 101 here? Let's assume I'm just trying to run. So what exactly happened? It's not throwing an error. Okay, it's not throwing error, but what the rule says is you cannot have a keys which are duplicated. Like 101, 101 is repeated twice. But how come it is still working? It still works. The reason is 101, it has taken the second place, that is Samat has been overrated the Tej, and it is showing 101 Samat, 103 as Swapna. So Tej is not existing in the list anymore. So this, not exactly the Python is throwing an error here, but well, when you are creating your program, will go for a toss. The reason is you're not doing the right job. So always ensure that your values, what you're providing, it should be unique always. Okay, these names can be same because we may have three summers, three swapnas, three days, doesn't matter. But it's always important to have the keys unique. So that is what I'm trying to show an example how the unique keys plays an important role. Okay, let's go for the same example, and this time I want to put values as uh, duplicated. Okay, because it allows duplicate. That's what it says, right? So duplicate values. Let's say duplicate values. So what I want to do is simply I want to copy page. I want to paste it here. I want to paste it here. So we have three page in the company or in the school, whatever. We have 101, 101. So let me keep the keys unique because I just realized that keys are should be unique. That's what the points to remember. But if I try to print this now, let me, it's not 2, let me say 3. It can be 2 also, but I'm just following the sequence. That's it, nothing. 3 and 3. Okay. This is 3 and this is 3 and this is 3. So once I print it, doesn't matter my in a room of classroom, if you have 50 students, 3 people can be teach, but their identification is different, right? I've been identifying them with their rule number, with the employee ID, so on and so forth, right? So this is a simple example to demonstrate how we can have a duplicate values, but how we cannot have uh, uh, duplicate keys. Let's say duplicate keys here, not allowed. Here duplicate values are allowed. Hope this example is clear so far, because I'm just coming step by step and proving every point what Python is claiming. So it's saying like, whenever you're working with this dictionary, we have these kinds of points to remember, the golden rules to be followed, and every rule is working perfectly now. Now, the thing is, it's you created a huge database kind of information. Okay, even in your phone book, what do you call it? In your smartphone, you have 1,000 contacts. Okay, and what you do just by storing, it's not done. Like you want to access them. How you access? You'll try to search with some name to find the name. Okay, you'll try to find with the phone number. You'll try to do a lot of operations. In simple, what I mean to say is you'll try to access. Okay, you want to access those values by using some keys. What keys? Maybe I'll try to use. If I want to search a Swapna in my phone book, I'll start with S. I'll try to get all the related Swapna's information. Okay, all the names which starts with S. Then I'll try to type one more letter W. Then I'll get very closer to Swapna. Then I'll type A. Then I'm become more closer. Then I can see straight away I can get the contact of Swapna. That's what you do in the smartphone. Okay, that's how the we work in a computer. Even when you are trying to search in a Google, also that's how you do it. But here, of course, same. No, it's not different. But what I'm saying is how you are going to access the data which is there in the dictionary. Okay, let's see that example as well. Now you're coming exactly step by step. First, we have created a simple dictionary to see how the key values are paired together, and how why you're calling as an item there. And then we also seen how it is if you try to look at the type, because it's not me who's saying. Python is saying it's a dictionary. That's how I try to cross check with the type function there. And then we have seen, can I create a blank list? And later I want to add, because I initially itself, I don't want to add all the values. Later on, slowly I want to add the values. That's how we added in the 100th example. And the 101 example, what you have seen is, yes, it is saying that duplicate keys are not allowed, but let me see if it is really works or not. But though it is not showing an error, but it is already overwritten, because stage is also very important. Student or employee or the contact in my phone book list. But by giving the key incorrect, what happened is the page has been overwritten with something else, right? So that's Python is not showing any error actually, but it's an error if you look at the program itself. The one value has been overwritten. The next one, not one example, what we are trying to do is whether the duplicate values are allowed. Yes, all these are there in my classroom. So let me put them, and I'm going to identify them. Whenever I say 101, a particular page will say yes. Okay, that's how it works, right? Now, let's see the next example, that is how we are going to access the elements. Or now we cannot say elements, actually what we can say is just somebody type in the chat like what we can call. Okay, whatever is there in the dictionary, what we'll call. I want to access the values, or you want to say accessing the items, or you want to say accessing the object. What do you call actually? How you see? Now we are going to say accessing the items, right? Because that is what dictionary is saying. Whatever the key and value is there, that is termed as an item. So let's see how to access items from the dictionary in Python. Okay, we can access dictionary values, or you say by using keys. Okay, uh, let's read two different examples so that we have the clear idea here. First, I want to create an example, that is accessing values. Why? Because we have a keys and as well as values. So I'm trying to access values by using keys. Let's see that example first so that we can understand how to access the keys as well. All right, so for that, I need to have something called variable. So let me declare dic as 4. Then we have a curly brackets. Okay, my start point is ready. Now what I want. Now what I want is, let me create some more here. B, B, B. Okay, all right. So we have something called dictionary now, which is readily available. Now I want to, what do you call, you want to access them. We want to access them. So let me take the C names. What is the instead of typing? So we have these names. Okay, we have these names. I'll take these names. I'll say simply it as four, maybe. Yeah, yes, it's four. So we have three different keys and we have three different values, right? All are unique. There's no duplication in this. Now, if I want to access them, how I'm going to access them, right? So we have to use a print. I want to use, obviously, we need to use a DIC4 because I want to print it. If you print, obviously, the way we have seen in the first example, it will print. But this is not what I'm expecting. I want to just retrieve all the values. What is values here? Monty, Ronnie, Harini is the values. 100, 200, 300 is not values. Those are keys. But my interest, as per this example, is just I want to retrieve the values. So how do I again retrieve the values? Let's see. I want to go for, let's say, okay, we need to use square brackets and say one. What is one means? The item one. Okay, let's say item two, item three. I'm just trying to retrieve all, but you try to see with one experiment. So this is two, this is three. Okay, I have three values, so I want to retrieve three. So once I print, it will not print. Okay, it will not print. What went wrong? Let me see. Key error one. Accessing X value using keys. Trace back key error one. Where I did mistake. Open parenthesis. I used a print DIC4. I'm always worried about the variable names I've done in the correct or not. So we have used D1. Oh, what I'm trying to do here, we have the key names as 100, right? So why I'm using 100? One, this is 200, this is 300. I'm just using randomly 1 to 3, but it's not 1 to 3, right? We have the keys names as 100, 200, 300. So we need to use the same. Okay. So once I run it, you can see Monty, Ronnie, Harini, it's only values, guys. I'm not retrieving the keys. But how I'm retrieving these values? By using the keys. This is the best example to see how we are going to access the dictionary values by using the keys. Okay, let's go for the next example to see. Slowly we'll try to improve the program by making it little complicated. We want to understand and we want to do errors as well because I like errors because it will teach you a lot of things. Okay, let's try to do some kind of a error here. Okay, so that means what I want to do is let me use the same discify this one. Little complicated. Okay, let me remove this first. Okay, we have discify now, which has the values very clear. Now, what happens if I'm trying to create, what do you call, accessing dictionary values by keys? I'm going to see some error. What error? I don't know. Let's try to see that. Now, what is the error is if I say print discify and I'm trying to access something called 400. Okay, very good. We are going to access some key which is not existing. Obviously, we can expect something called, uh, it's a key error, right? It's not a big error, but it's a key error. That kind of key it is trying to search from the first list. 100, is it matching? No. 200 matching? No. 300 matching? No. But when I see this 400 is nowhere in this list, but still you're trying to access it. So you're going to get key 100, key error, sorry, key error. Key error is what? Let me put this as a key error. Okay, key error. And what is 400? It's not something, a error number or something. It is 400 what you're trying to access. Okay, so always ensure that the keys which you have, you are going to access only these cases, and something which is not existing, even it happens with your smartphone, right? You are trying to search for a Swapna who is not existing in the phone book, and what happens? Of course, you'll not get error there, but it will be a blank. But being a program, okay, you'll see what exactly mistake you're doing here. Okay, now let's try to go next level. I can say how to handle these errors, actually allow to handle errors, because there are chances, right? So I created a program and you keep using the keys and you are retrieving the information from my database, and one fine day you're given such a key which is not existing and you are getting this error. So you should not be getting these errors. Actually, you should get some kind of a text saying from me, okay, from me, please do not enter key which is not existing in the list. Telling so professionally instead of this trace back more recent call list, call last, key error. I'm getting a big error, right? So I want to write in a single line of my own error, user defined error. This is a Python error. Okay, system is throwing an error for me. No, I'm interested to write my own errors. If there is any chance of getting errors here, I want to manage that. So for that, you need to know how to use the conditional structures. Okay, how to use a conditional structure. So right now we don't know what are the if conditions. If this happens, then what to do? If somebody is accessing a key which is not existing, then what to do? Okay, what you want to print. If it is there, what to print. If it is not there, what to print. This is all about the story about the conditional structure. We'll have a very lengthy session on that. This is not the right time. So as of now, let's see it as an error only, and I don't know how to handle it right now because I don't have that knowledge of conditional structures at this moment. Now let's go for the next example. Again, if you want to find an employee information or student information using a dictionary, what happens is we need to use a very lengthy program by using a loops. Loops are nothing but when you want to repeat certain things for a number of times. Again, that's another set of information. But let's try to keep a dictionary as a dictionary at this moment, because once we are covering all these data types, then we can jump onto this conditional structures and loops. Then we'll try to combine all this whatever learnings, okay, methods, functions, data types. We'll try to use all with the example so that you can have a very clear understanding. At this moment, let's try to understand dictionary as dictionary only. Now let's go for the next example. That is it 102, 103, 104? All right, so here what I want to do is I want to update a dictionary in Python. But hold on, what do you mean by updating a dictionary? Do you have that facility? First of all, let's go back to our notes and refresh our knowledge here. What it says is heterogeneous objects are allowed. Of course, that's fine. Duplicate values are not allowed. That is also not related at this moment. It's dictionary objects have a mutable nature. Mutable nature in the sense I've written something called Tej. Anytime I can change that the Tej to Monty, Monty to Harini, Harini to Swapna, Swapna to Samad. I can change anything. That is what the mutable mean, right? So that means now I'm confident enough to start working with the dictionary, saying that I can update. Okay, that I can update, right? So I can update now. So let's see how to update now. Updating dictionary in Python. Okay, so what variable I want, I can be anything for that matter. So equal to two flower brackets or curly braces. Let's not use flower brackets as a curly braces. And I want something here, data here. So let me copy this itself instead of rewriting again and again. So okay, I have this, and this is my disk 6. Okay, now we have a 3 values as usual, but I want to update. What do you update? Generally, what you do? In my phone, I have 1,000 contacts, and somebody, Swapna, has changed his phone number. So what I'll do is I'll try to search Swapna. I'll delete her number. I'll try to update the new one. Right? That's what you do. Or else somebody doesn't have their contact anymore, and I still have that contact information. I don't want to have it. I want to delete it. So this is what you do with your database. Okay, database is nothing but the information what you're having. Even in a piece of notebook. Okay, earlier we used to, when there were no phones, actually we used to use simple notebooks. We used to write a person name and the phone number, person name, phone number. Slowly we improvise the version. How? A single page only for the alphabet starts with A. Second page only alphabets with B. Like that means you are indexing, started improving your knowledge. You started indexing format. That means directly I want to find some name which starts with Z, I can go to the last page. I want to go with a letter starting with S, I can go directly to that page instead of searching all the names, because it's not in order, right? So slowly you improved. Now we started using a smartphones, and we have started using all the contact numbers and phone for names storing in uh, database itself, nothing but a phone database. So when you're storing, we know very well all this comes in alphabetical order, right? A to Z, that's how it works. Now, what happens is here, I want to update. Now, you know the reason why we are updating, right? So we want to update. So let's try to see one example while updating the key. Okay, especially key in the dictionary. What happens is if the key is not available, then a new key will be added at the end of the dictionary. Okay, please do remember, when I'm trying to update a key, for example, Monty's key is not 100, actually it's something else. I want to update it. It's quite obvious if you don't have such key and why we are trying to update it. If the key is not available, okay, if the key is not available, then the new key will be added at the end of the dictionary. What is the end of the dictionary? Harini is my end of the dictionary. Okay, so if when you are trying to add anything new, it will go at the last stage. But hold on, what it if I want to update something already 100 is there, I want to still update 100. Let's see two different scenarios. Okay, uh, mm, let's get into action and see what happens here. So what I want to do is print. I want to see DIC. First, I want to print it. Just let me print this and see. Here, I want to write a comment. old dictionary. Okay, just like that to see what is output. Okay, just like that to see output. This is an old dictionary. Just to remember, when I start comparing with the new dictionary after the updation, we can clearly understand. That's the only intention here. Now, what I want to do is I want to use again dic6. Okay, equals to, not equals to, we need to use closing and opening parentheses. This time what I want to do is I want to say maybe 400. Okay, for which I want to give some nice name. Okay, let's say Aisha. That's the name which I've given. Now what I want to do is I want to print. This time you are not printing the old one, rather you are printing the new dictionary. New dictionary, this is after updating. I'm just trying to make it very clear. What I'm trying to say is this is my older dictionary with before updating, before and after kind of stuff. Okay, so when I'm trying to print this, what you'll see is what you'll see is you will try to find, we'll try to see, we have the old dictionary 100 Monty, 200 Oni, 300 Harini, but what is this 400 Aisha? Something new, right? This is a new dictionary. Now you have updated your dictionary with a new phone number or with a new name, your smartphone. Simple. Okay, now let's see one more scenario. If the key is already existing, then what? Okay, if the key is already, 400 was not existing, so I could able to add at the last. That's what I was saying. If the number is not if the key is not existing, it will try to add at the last, the way I've shown in the example right now. But what if you have the number already existing? That's a question. Okay, I'm not going to give the answer. I want to listen the answer from you. What if the key is already existing? Okay, we have the same example now. Where's the 5? Okay, here let me put that condition saying that while you're checking this example, you'll understand. When key not exist. Okay, when the key is not exist, when the key is, when key exist. Okay, when the key is already there. Okay, let's assume I want to create a key 400. Okay, 400 is not existing, right? So I want to go for something called 300. 300 is already existing, guys. So now somebody, I'll take a pause here. I want somebody to show me an answer in the comment box. What is 105 example give me the output? Okay, old dictionary, anyway, it will give the old dictionary value. But what this print will do? I'll take a quick pause and I want to see your comments in the chat box. What exactly this going to give an output here? What it will do? Will it update? I don't know what it will update. Anybody would like to give an answer here? Okay, Naga Babesh, it prints a new value. Fantastic. I liked it. It prints a new value. New value in the sense it will print 100 colon Aisha, or it will print again 100 colon Aisha as a separate key item. That's what I'm looking for. Harini, print will print a value. Yes, absolutely. That's true. Okay, let me reveal the secret here. Very simple. But the concept, two cases, what I've taken is gives you a lot of idea. Okay, very clear information. What exactly the dictionary behavior is. Completely the behavior of a dictionary will give you. When I run this, as I said, when the key is already existing, you are trying to use 300. 300, when I see 300 is already there. Harini is already sitting in 300, and you're trying to tell, please update in 300 Aisha. What happens? Now you'll not see Harini anymore. 300 key will be still there, but Harini will be replaced with Aisha. Let's try to look at it. Now you can see the old one, old dictionary before actually updated. Just for comparison, there's no need to display two things actually, just for comparison. Older dictionary was showing 100 Monty, nothing new here. 300 Harini. Where is Harini now? Harini is not there because Harini is being overwritten with a name called Aisha. Okay. Okay. So this is what output you have seen. Let's go for now. Now that we know how to add, all right, so as I explained here, I'm trying to print the old one and the new one so that you can get the flavor of what is really happening. That's what I printed, just like that old dictionary, new dictionary. I'm trying to show you what is the real changes happen. Now, most of the time, what you do with the phone, smartphones, either you'll add a new contact the way I add it, okay, the way I did in the first example. Okay, my first time when I bought my phone, which was a blank. Okay, which is blank. First time I got my smartphone, it is blank. I started recording. Okay, this is my phone number and his name is this. This is my phone number and this is his name. That's how I started filling my phone book with my contact info, with my friends list, relatives list. Okay, later on, now whenever I want to access them, maybe I can search with the phone number if I know, or else I can search with the names also. That's what I'm trying to do in the 1 or 2 example. In the 1 or again, I've lost the sequence. Okay, in a 1 or 3, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find such friend who is not existing in my contact list at all. So that's what I'm getting an error, right? That's what we have seen in the 1 or 3 example. In 1 or 4 example, what you have seen is, okay, both are same here. What? Yeah. So this is 1 or 3, 1 or 4. Okay, in this case, what you're trying to do is if the keys exist in these two cases will give you a clear picture. Okay, this is one use case we can say where the key is not existing at all. What it is trying to do is by default, the nature of a dictionary is it will pick up this information, put it in the last. That is what it is doing. If the key is already existing, what it will do is smartly it will try to override the name. That's what we do with the smartphone also. Already we have a name. Okay, already we have the name number, but later on we felt our name is not this, his name is not this. You want to give the complete name, so you'll try to override with the new name or something. Okay, so just trying to compare with the smartphone so that we can easily understand. Okay, so that's a 105 example. Now the thing is, this is what you do with the smartphone also. You start creating a new phone numbers, then you'll update them. Sometimes you hate your friend, so you want to delete his contact, right? Nothing but removing information from your dictionary. So what you'll do is, let's try to put this way. Okay, we have 3 values here. Again, same example. Now what I want to do is I want to take a dictionary 7. In this we have 100 Monty, 200 Ronnie, uh, and 300 Harini. What happens is here I don't like somebody, or I don't require some information, or it's nowhere related to my information at all. It's not my requirement at all. I just want to remove it. Okay, so there are different things here. Either you can remove the element. Are you trying to remove that item, or you are going to delete the entire things? Let's try to see again different scenarios. I want to use a keyword called here del. Okay, we know that del is a keyword, del. What I mean, if you remember that keyword list, when I try to import keyword and keyword list, I got that del is also one of the keyword there. So by using this del keyword, what I can do is we can remove the keys. Okay, very good, excellent. That means you can delete the complete keys by using the del key. Let me write here so that you can have a notes kind of stuff here. By using the del key, we can remove the keys, right? Second one, by using clear, we can clear the objects or items in the dictionary. Okay, we'll take these comments later in the next example. Okay, so now what I want to do is as per the syntax, okay, as per the wordings what I've written. So let me write the syntax actually. So how the syntax looks is, syntax is nothing but the skeleton. Okay, I'm using del as a keyword. Then I need to mention, okay, I need to mention what is my variable name. That is variable name is disk7 maybe. I'll write the program, but let's try to see the syntax so that you can remember this. I want to mention the key. That's it. That simple it is. Like if you want to delete something from everything. Okay, so let's go back this, and I want to use a print uh, not this one. So print, I want to write before in the sense how it was looking before deleting anything. Okay, just like for your information only. Then what I want to do is I want to write dic7. So what it will do is simply it will print the same output, nothing difference. Okay, what happened? So disk7, it's trying to print what I'm missing, invalid syntax, that is disk disk again, invalid syntax. This is a problem. So you said like dic, here you're writing disc, which is s is access rate. So when you run this, what happens is it will again this 7, what happened? Okay, so the problem here is like you need to use a comma separator, right? Otherwise it will not understand. It's a variable name and it's a text, obviously. So when you run this, you are getting 100 Monty, 200 Ronnie, 300 Harini. This is just before, okay, before I'm doing some kind of operation. The way we have done with the update, the same structure I want to show as an example here. So before, let's say, deleting or yeah, deleting. Before deleting, let me remember this. And next, I want to really delete it now. If I want to delete, what is the keyword? Del. All right. What is the variable? My variable is disk7. Okay. And what exactly you want to delete? Do you want to delete Ronnie? You want to delete Monty, or do you want to delete Monty? So let's try to delete Monty here. I want to use 100. Okay. 100 is what? His keyword. Harini's keyword is 300. Ronnie's keyword is 200. So you need to be very clear what you're trying to delete. Okay. I want to del. Del is nothing but delete. That's keyword. Okay. I'm just deleting. So what I want to do is after deleting how it looks like, I want to see. So before and after. Okay. This is only for our understanding. It's nothing like you need to write this way after deleting how it looks like. So once I've done this, what exactly I want to do is like, I want to see how it really looks like. Okay. How it looks like. What the problem again? Oh yeah. DS, there's no S. Okay. Now, before deleting, it was 100, 100, 200, 200, 300. So what is missing is 100 is completely removed. Okay, from my phone book, I selected one person, okay, who is not existing anymore, whose contact is not valid. Okay, his phone number is not valid, or I don't want to keep his information at all. I can simply select the content and delete. This is what I'm trying to do here. Before and after. Before it was there. Later, after deleting, you can see clear picture. It is not existing anymore. Now let's try to use del as a function itself. Okay, I mean that means if you what kind of errors we can see if you're trying to delete something which is not existing again. Okay, same concept. What we have seen with the key error. Okay, let's try to see with the delete also what happens here before deleting, after deleting. But here I'm trying to delete something which is not existing, 400 or 500, whatever it may be. Updating disk key error. So I need to say key error here. Same example, but I don't want to miss even that key. What is that key error? Okay, key error. So I don't want this in this. Okay. Okay. So here what I want to do is I'm trying to delete something which is not existing. Obviously, it will show you some error. What is that error directly if you look at that? This anyway, this is your program what you have written. It's showing a key error of 500. 500 is not error number. It is something which you are trying to access. So I want to do an error and see how it looks like. What exactly Python is teaching me when I try to do errors. It's telling me it's a key error, boss. Don't try to use that key which is not existing. I can control. I don't want you to face this kind of errors. I want to control when I'm designing any program. If you get this error, I want to show my own error, user defined. That means my own messages I want to show you rather than this such big mess up kind of error. But for that, I need to have that knowledge, which I don't have now. That is if conditions, using loops, you can do a lot of stuff. So let's just waiting for the next topic. All right, so that's the one thing. So let me use some more B's here. So we have seen how to use B. I want to use now clear. Clear, what is clear? What is deleting means? What is clear means? Let's see. All right, so we have, am I missing anything? So this is 105, this is 106, this is again 106, this is 107 actually. This is 108. Okay, so here what I want to do is I want to use not the del keyword now. I want to use a clear object. So if you want to use a clear object, this is not the syntax anyway. So clear object. So before clearing, this is how it was looking actually. Let me put it this way. Before clear, this is after clear. I want to find the difference, then only I'll get an idea. If I directly clear, you'll not understand what. If I directly remove, you'll not understand what is removed. So just trying to use a different approach to make you a clear understanding, like how was before and after. So this is not valid anymore because I'm not trying to delete anything. I want to clear something. So what you want to clear, by the way? I want to clear DIC 8. Let me use this as 8, 8, 8, of course 8. Now, when I say enter, what I'm going to get before clear, it was these values, and after clear, also same values. But what I'm missing, I have not used any method only. I have just used DIC 8. It's my mistake. So what I need to do is I need to use a clear method there. So I need to say CLEAR, clear, open and closing brackets. Do you expect any parameters here to provide? No. How you want to clear, you cannot tell. Clear is clear. That's it. Remove, you can still tell. I want to remove this. I want to remove this. I want to remove this. You have choice there. But when you say clear, there's no choice. Just delete everything. That's what the clear means. So once you run this, what happens is initially before we have all the values, after clear, you can see it is empty, empty, as good as a fresh database, fresh new smartphone with no information at all. Okay, that is about the clear. So hope this is very clear how to use the clear in dictionary. Okay, we already used actually clear in case of a list and tuple. And now clear is somewhat removing the keys and values, right? That is what happening. But here what I want to do is I want to delete the entire dictionary. Is it possible? Let's try to see that. Now, this is 107, 108. I'm losing that sequence. So I'll copy it till here so that I quickly process this. This is 109 and this not updating here. I want to delete. Okay, I want to delete. That is delete the complete. We have seen the example of deleting, I think. Delete is, yeah, we have seen the how to work with the delete, right? So we have used a del as a keyword. We have used the number. We have also seen the error. So no, we done with the uh, delete. Now let's see how to use functions and methods of dictionary in Python, especially for dictionaries. We have, again, the way we have for the list, tuples and all, we have some functions here. So let's see that. So the last one is let's use, I want to insert before this is what the situation comes like you already created cell and before this I want one more cell above I want to create a blank cell I created. Okay, I want to make it as a markdown. I'll say M. Here I want to write something called functions methods for DACT. That's it. It's a small heading so that you can understand from here what is happening. Here we have different functions and method, and I don't want to really remember what are the different functions and methods available. I don't want to remember because we have so many data types, so many functions, so many methods. So what is the easiest way? Use dot and tab, you'll get the complete pop-up list, right? So the only thing is what a method does what. If you can remember, that's more than enough. There's no need to remember what is the list. Nobody will ask you how many methods we have for dictionary. Nobody will ask you. Maybe somebody will ask you this method, what it does if you are using for dictionary, if you are using for list, or if you are using for the tuple. Okay, so let's see this example how to use methods. So the first method I want to use, first function rather, for the function, I want to use DICT itself is within itself is in a function. Okay, DICT actually basically it's a data type, right? Data structure. But DICT itself is, let me use it here, as function DICT square brackets. Okay, DICT itself is an actually one function we have. So how we are going to create uh, an empty dictionary. Later we can add some elements if you want. So let's try to see how we are going to create. So I'll say simply DIC9. Okay, then I'll say equals to. So far I was using a flower brackets, no doubt, curly braces rather. No doubt that's how it should be, right? So this time what I want to do is I want to use the uh, disk function. Disk function I want to use. Dict. It's not disk. Dict function. So what I can say is DICT opening closing parenthesis. That's it. My job is done. So what I will do is now print now DIC9. When I try to run, what will happen? Nothing. You are just trying to create a dict function to create a blank. Oh, a blank dictionary by using what? A dictionary function itself. I also know how to create a empty dictionary, but this time I'm creating in a second style way of creating a dictionary with a dictionary function itself. Okay, now let's go further. Okay, I want to see first of all, whenever I create something blank, I'm always worried what type of data type it is. Okay, uh, is it still showing as a dictionary or something else? Okay, once you run it, you'll see that it is showing as a dictionary. So no problem, it's working fine. So that means the function which we have, it's still working. The next one is we can use the dictionary not to create values. Of course, we know that we can create values by using dictionary, which you have cleared here. So let's try to copy that and go for the next example. Okay, Next example here, what I want to do is, this is demonstrating by using a function called dict. Okay, by using a function called dict, can I start loading the values, that is keys and also values. So let's see that example. Here what I want to do is disk 10 dict 10. uh, Maybe what you want to do is, okay, this is like you're using a function, right? So obviously, yeah. So when you're using this, we have to use dict. I think when you're using a curly braces, it will not understand. Okay, function, how it starts, like it's always, I mean, ends with dict, then open and closing parenthesis, right? So obviously, what I need to do is first forget about this one. We need to use open and closing brackets. Within that, what you want to do, I want to create a list. I want to create a dictionary, because I can see directly it's a dictionary because it has a key and as well as a value, right? So once I create this empty, so obviously we are going to print this dic10, and when you can see here, we can even create by using that function called dict function. So what I'm trying to say here, uh, dict function will allow to create keys and values, as simple as that. Okay, so the next example, let's try to see by using uh, dict. We have seen, okay, dict also can be used. Let's try to do one thing like what we learned in the previous session, that is, we have seen tuples, right? So tuples, how the tuples are going to be, they are going to be in the square bracket. So let's try to create two tuples now. Okay, all right, so this is 110, this is 110, yeah, 110, this is 111. So I want to create, what I want to create here now is, I want to see how the same dict function function creates a list of tuples. Okay, assume that we have already two tuples existing in your program, and by using dictionary you want to combine them so that you can quickly create the database. So what happens is, normally if I want to create my own phone book, I'm just trying to use 100 colon Monty, 200 colon Ronnie. I'm creating my own. What if when you bought a new phone and you want to just create all the phone numbers and name with the names, if you have the proper backup, assume that you already took the backup from your previous phone, and you can just copy that into the new phone, you'll get all the phone numbers just like that. Okay, that means there is a ready-made in this sense, your own backup, it was there, you're not creating anything from the scratch now. So that's what I mean. So dictionary function creates a list of tuples, because assume that we have two tuples which are already there, old or new, or which you just created, whatever it may be. Then we want to create then we want to add up to this. So how we are going to do that? So if you want to create tuples, how you are going to create, first thing, okay, if I want to create a tuple, so let me just put it here first. I'll use the square brackets, that is round brackets. Okay, open parenthesis and closing parenthesis. I'll say 100. Then I'll say uh, uh, let's say, I'm not getting names, so Aisha, okay, let's say comma, then I'll say 200, then I'll say Swapna, okay. These are the two names which I have. This is one tuple. Okay, how do we know? By the way, it's a tuple. Okay, it's a tuple because we have used within open and closing parenthesis. But at the same time, we have something called the values in it, right? So we have a key structure. But I'm saying I want to create a tuple. I use the key and value method, right? So this is not correct. This is absolutely not correct. Why? Because we are using a key and value structure. So how the tuple looks like, I need to use comma, I need to use comma, then I need to use comma. This is my absolute tuple, right? So this tuple we have in the same way. I have one more tuple. Let's assume I have one more tuple like this. Okay, in this we have 200, maybe 300, and we have John, and this is 600. We have Priya here. Okay, we have something called two different tuples here now. Now try to understand, I'm trying to break it down and try to combine them later. So in the disk, what happens is, how the dictionary is going to be used, like we are going to use DIC, DICT, not CT. city. Okay, within open and closing parentheses. Now my main objective is I already have some tuple information which I want to make it as my dictionary. But how it is possible? Actually, if I look at this is 100 is a value, Aisha is a value, 200 is a value, Swapna is a value, 300 is a value. They are not joined together. That means that data is not telling me 100 means Aisha, 200 means Swapna. It's not telling me that. But that is what I want to create by using this dictionary function. So let's try to see how we are going to create. Between tuple to tuple, obviously we need to have the comma separated, right? So I'm just removing this now. What the magic I'm going to do is I'm just going to combine them into the dictionary. But before you do it, what exactly you require? Let's see. Uh, you are going to add two tuples, right? So that means I'm going to open this and paste this. So that means I just first bracket is for your dictionary. Okay, dictionary, how it works like you have seen disk DICT dict. It's not this. It we have open and closing parentheses. What is that? Is what the first one that is first and first is closed, and we have this inner tuple, first tuple, and this is the second tuple. That's it. So I just added it. I'm going to see error for sure, but let's see how to crack that. Now that you added two tuples and you want to make that really as what you call as a dictionary, let's see. So I want to print now. Print DICT 10. It's not 10. Let's make it as 11 because we already used 10 there. Even if you already use, doesn't matter, right? Once I run this, you are going to see some error. Dict expected at least most one argument and got two. It was saying you have some tuple which has more information actually and how you can add them. So tuple should be separated because that means so have 100. Okay, this is a valid tuple for now. Let's take this as a valid tuple, and this is a valid tuple. One argument is allowed. Okay, let's try to do the experiment here. Now I'm running, still going to be seeing an error. It's saying invalid syntax. Invalid, how the syntax is invalid? Okay, we missed one bracket here. Let me close that and let me run this again. Now what it is showing is didn't expected at most one argument got two. Again, it's showing error, though I've satisfied the information what it is asking for. The thing is, like when you are trying to use the open and closing bracket, this entire information, uh, we need to provide in the form of a list. That is open bracket, that is what do you call square bracket, and close a square bracket. So the first one, the first square, open bracket and close bracket is for the dictionary, and the second square bracket is required to combine them these two tuples into one, and then we are trying to print. So let's see what is the output now. Okay, now see, actually this colon is not existing between Aisha and 100, and the colon is not existing between 300 and John, but how easily I could able to combine two tuples information into one. Okay, two tuples information into one. So let's try to modify a little bit here. Now what the thing I've done is I removed, right? So let's use 200 comma. Will it give me an error? That's a question. So let me say Priya here as a name, and here let it be. Okay, so I've added two values from, okay, sorry, we are not supposed to use the colon because that's what the whole picture is here. I need to use comma, right? So 100 comma Aisha, 200 comma Priya, 300 comma John. That's again, John is a different tuple. Okay, Aisha and Priya is from one tuple, and when I try to print, what happens? Okay, again error because dictionary update sequence element 0 has length 4. Okay, semicolon 2 is required. So that means you cannot expect add more number of value information into the dictionary. Tuple is like you created one key item which is there, we are trying to combine just like that. Okay, now let me go for the next example. Not this. Okay. Okay, so in this example, let's try to explore how, okay, we have seen quite a few examples how to use the dict function, right? By using a dict function, we have seen how to create a blank one. By using a dict function, how to create an key value pairs. By also using the dictionary function, not as a data type I'm referring, dict as a function, because I started with the heading here, right? So function, first function we are trying to see is dict. Now the next function, let's see what is the other functions we have. The dict function is just creating a tuples. Okay, now dict function, not dict, it's already done. So len function, there's no need to tell what is the len function, actually been using it already. So let me copy this one of the key which I have here along with the values. We know what is a len mean. Okay, So this is 11, this is, let's say, 12. Okay, now that we have a keys and three values, now what I want to do is I want to find the length. Very simple, right? So we want to find, by the way, why you're finding, try to print, find the length, because now it's a very simple numbers and values what I have on my screen. But in real time, when you're working, when you receive input files from your business or from your colleagues or from your boss, when you're trying to analyze the data in the Jupyter notebook or in anywhere, what happens is you'll not understand how, what is the length of it until unless when you try to use certain functions and methods, right? So let's try to use the length function and see how exactly we are going to find. Okay, I want to print, then I want to use the length. I want to use the DIC as 12. Okay, so let me run this and see what is the length. Yes, the problem is D is caps. Use this. Okay. Now, what it is telling me actually, it is telling me I have 100 as one, Monty as two. We have different things here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it is saying only three because each key and also value considered as a one item, right? So obviously this is one, this is two, this is three. Job is done. Tomorrow, if you have thousands, still I have no problem because I know how to deal with it because I know the length method. So the next one is clear method, which we have already seen. The method can remove all the elements from the dictionary, which we have already discussed with the above function and as well as in the previous one. Okay, let's see one more example, that is get how to get uh, the values, because okay, let me go back to the previous example where I was trying to get the keys only. Uh, when keys existing, when the keys existing, when the keys existing, somewhere I just brought only the values. Okay, this is the one. Okay, this is the one where I try to get only the information, which is values, not keys. But this time, let's try to get the keys as well. Okay, I should have been seeing there only. Okay, fine, no problem. So this is a 113 example where we are trying to see how to get the values. Okay, how to get the values, uh, how to get the values or numbers. Let me see 22. Eyes are paining watching the screen, so we can't. All right, we have seen how to use the clear function. We have seen how to use this del function. We have seen how to use the dict function itself. Okay, dict is a data type, and at the same time, it within itself it is in a function as well. So we have a pop which we have seen already. Okay, nothing new. Pop will just the method will remove the entry associated with the specific key written. Okay, that is what we know. If you let's try to see the example. Otherwise, before pop, let's say before pop using pop. Okay, before pop and after pop, what happens when you are trying to use this pop as a method, not as a clear? It's a pop method now. POP pop. Okay. So when you use the pop method, this pop method will remove the entry, whatever the entry we have posted, have the information in the your dictionary with the specified key and returns the corresponding value. That's the advantage of pop, which you've been already using with the list string. We have seen with the list, we've seen with the tuple as well, right? So let's see how to use now this tuple. Okay, that is pop. I used a dict 8, so let me make it as dict watch. This is 12, this is 13. So let's make it as 13 quickly. And this is 13, and this is 13, and this is 13. Just I'm changing my variable names, that's it. So nothing will change here. Using dict, not this one, using this. Okay. Now, when I try to use this one, pop is having pop will have some parameters, right? So let me rightly run because I want to see the error. So once you run this, it is telling what is the error it is telling. Pop expected at least pop is a method which will expect at least one argument. Argument in the sense like we need to provide what you want to remove. Okay, what you want to pop. Okay, I said 100. So once I run this, you'll see what was before. Before was 100 is there, Monty is there, but now it's not existing. So what happens is it's like a kind of a remove only. Okay, this method like works like a remove only, but the entry associated with the specified key and returns the corresponding value. That's a, advantage, big advantage what we have with the pop. So the one new method which we have not seen so far is pop is already there, clear is already there. We have not seen pop item. Okay, pop item is associated with only pop item with this dictionary. Okay, so let's see how it works, this pop item, and what it means, and how it really helps me in order to do some modification by using this pop item. Okay, pop item removes the attribute. Okay, attribute of item. In simple, what is attribute? That's a key value from the dictionary, and returns it. So pop and pop item works same thing, but pop item refers more of the what do you call it, attribute item. That is the key value it will try to remove. So I'll simply use pop item. I'll not use anything here because it doesn't have anything. Okay, so let's try to use as this as a 14, right? So let me quickly change it to 14 and simply run it. So what you can see is it has removed 200 and Ronnie from there. That means it has picked up something randomly because I've not mentioned anything in the parameter. So the method removes an key value from the dictionary and returns it again. So you can see what is before and what is after. This is not pop, this is pop item. Okay. All right, so there are other methods and functions which I cannot use now. We'll for sure we'll see that when we are trying to learn with the if conditions and for loops, we'll try to go back to all these data types again, because without using these data types and data structure, fundamental data types, and all those operators, what we know, arithmetic comparison operator, all those operators will definitely come cross our path when you are trying to work with these loops and if conditions, or the main heart of your entire programming language. Okay. So we'll stop here for the dictionary, and let's begin with the next topic. Okay, this will not take much time because this is a very simple topic. What we are talking about, that is, we have seen the what do you call set, right? So within the set, there is another data type called frozen set. Okay, let me make it as a markdown first. Okay, here I want to write data type frozen. How is it written? Frozen set. Okay, frozen set. This is a frozen set. So what is this frozen data type? Is it something different from the set data type, or how this is going to help us? Let's try to see that. For the first point, I would like to write it is, I can say it is exactly same as set, except that is, that's it. What your set is, it is mutable, right? But this is immutable. So it is exactly same as a set only. Everything remains same. The only thing is it is immutable. Immutable. Okay. Let's see what is the next key point here we need to understand before we go with the practical demonstration. Hence, we can not use add or remove functions. We cannot use anything here. As simple as that. It's a very plain data type. You can say, though it is a comes under the data structure, frozen data type. It is just similar to your set data type. Okay, but it uses the function itself. Okay, frozen data type at the same time is a frozen set as a function itself. So let's see the first example. So very quickly to understand this one. Run. I got this. I want to go for example number. Frozen set data type. It's very simple one, and I can't really comment. It's a most common or rarely used. It depends upon the program what you're writing actually. So here I want to say fr. Fr is just like that. Fr is a what do you call, is a variable. Then I'm using curly braces. I'm using 10, 20, 30, 40. By the way, what I'm using here, I'm using fr. Fr stands for what? It is a frozen set. That's what I mean. But when I print it, what will happen? Fr, it will print as is whatever the numbers are there, because it's thinking it is a set what you're trying to type. So let's try to see the type of this fr. If it will show you, for sure it will show as a set. But I'm working with a frozen set, right? So it is not a set actually what I'm working for. So how you are going to work this, let's try to see that. Now, if I want to make this as a frozen set, what I'm going to do is fr equal to, you are going to use the data type itself as a function, frozen set. Okay, within that, you are going to say fr. Let me use a different one here, fr1, and this is fr. Okay, the initial variable is fr, and the second variable I'm using as fr. So when I'm trying to print, not the type anyway, okay, type we'll see later, but we'll try to print the as is, what is fr stands for. FR1, I mean, because FR1 is a variable which is trying to store this complete frozen set, right? So let's try to print it out. Nothing new. We are getting the frozen set, and it is showing you in the curly brackets and also in the rounded brackets. Rounded brackets always reminds me what? It's a tuple, right? So it is showing the combination of both. And if you try to type the type, what is the type, what type it is printing? Okay, it is nothing but still showing as a class, as a set. Why? Because you are showing, as fr here. It's not fr, it's fr1. If you say fr1, then it will be showing what it is. So now we understood this. Now it is a working like a data type. But initially when I'm trying to say simply fr equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, it was just showing you as a set. But that can be quickly converted by using a frozen set data type itself, which is within itself is a function. Okay, then we are printing out. So this is the best example how to look at this frozen set. Okay, and to go further, as I said, it is mutable or immutable. It is immutable. That means what? You can never change it. So let's see if it is really what it says, what it promises. Frozen set really works. Uh, I oops. Okay, here it says, okay, immutable. So I'm using again fr. Okay, or we can say something like let's say fr and fr set. Okay, again I need to use a for loop here, so making you understand for loop at this stage is little difficult. But let's say fr dot, let me remove this, fr1 dot, I want to add something. Okay, I want to add something called 80 maybe. What is that? Okay, immutable. So what is immutable? That means it can never be changed. So obviously we are going to see some error here. What is that error? It's telling you frozen set, frozen set, frozen, it's freezed. It's freeze. That means once the values are created, we cannot do anything. It's immutable. Object has no attribute called add. Moreover, we cannot add something. Okay, when we cannot add, that means clearly shows we cannot even remove, right? So let's try to see immutable. So that means error. Let me copy this error and put it here so that when you are checking, you'll understand what it means. I pasted here, fine, fantastic. So let's go for the next example. Now I want to do the remove option, add option. That is a method which I'm trying to use here, which is not working. Now let me use the remove method. So remove 8 is not existing. So let's take a 10. When I run this, what happens again, it will show you frozen set object has no attribute to remove. So there's no attribute such to remove is not existing. The way I'm trying to remove with the other data type is not existing. Why it is not existing, that is the thing what we need to understand, because it's immutable. When it is immutable, we cannot add something or we cannot remove something. As good as you can't do anything, it is simply we're adding some numbers into that and we are creating, and it is freezed. That is what the set and the frozen set difference. It is immutable, whereas your set is mutable. It can be changed, right? So that's how it works. Okay, let's take a quick example. Next one, next data type, that is called as, let's take this as base for us. I want to make it as a markdown. This is also very simple data type which you can understand very quickly. What exactly what do you call this, range data type? Okay, range data type. There is a data type called range. Okay, what it means, first let's try to understand the key points again. Okay, key points are really important, because if you don't understand the key points when you're writing any uh, program, you'll not understand what you're trying to do, right? So range 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 is nothing but a group of numbers, right? Okay, from 1 to 10. I'm not describing between 1 to 10 what is there. Is it odd numbers or even numbers? I don't know anything. I'm simply saying 1 to 10. That is what you call as a range. So when say range data type represents sequence of numbers. So what does it mean? I'm not related to strings, loading numbers. It's talking about only numbers. So range always talks about uh, numbers. So the next one, the elements, nothing but the values, what you're giving. Elements present in range data type are not modifiable. I'm writing a different word here. Just instead of using mutable, not mutable, immutable. Okay, range data type, that is data type, range data type is immutable. Okay, so data type is immutable. My keyboard is killing. All right. So, but just with two single lines, which you can understand what is this data type range is all about. Range data type represents the sequence of numbers, and the elements present in the range data types are not modifiable. That means you cannot do anything. You cannot do any changes. That is, range data type is immutable, mutable, immutable. Very important keywords. Now let's try to see how it works actually. If I say simply range, and the best example would be, let's say 10. I'm not writing anything. I simply said range is 10. Okay. What it does actually, I'm trying to take case one here. So let's try to take case wise so that we can understand, because we don't have much properties and methods to talk about this one. It itself is a data type. Within that, it's a function. So let's try to put it as 117. Example, 116 and 170. Yeah, perfect. So when I say range, this range is the best data type which we can use with the loops. When you're working with the loops, you'll see the best advantage. You can take the best advantage of this range. But as of now, let's try to see simply what's the behavior of range. Okay, once I say run, what it's trying to do is it is telling me 10 stands for 0 comma 10. What does it mean? That means range take two parameters actually, that is start number and the end number, but I've not given anything. That is, I've not given any start number here. So let me put start, end, and step. There are three parameters here. Start means where you want to start, end means where you want to end, step means how many numbers you want to skip. Those, that is what it means. Okay, so we'll just finish off this topic, that is the range, and quickly we can just take. Okay, so range I've taken as a comment here, that is a range start, end, and step. How we are going to do that? So range means if I say 0 comma 10, what exactly it does? When I run this, you'll see that it's again showing 0 10, nothing else, because we have to print the actual numbers. If you want to print the actual numbers, we need to have the for loop methodology. Okay, if I want to print, so let me write a simple for loop here. Don't try to understand what it means, because we have a separate topic to understand this. So quickly, what I'll do is I'll use r equal to range. Okay, when I run this, nothing is happening because I just stored the range. Now for let's take any variable here. So for I in r colon, don't try to understand this for loop, because it is really need to understand from the scratch. Otherwise, you will not. Okay, so once I run this, what I'm going to say is that 0 to 10, what is there? I'm just trying to print the complete information. But if you see, 10 is not getting printed because it's trying to see from 0 to 10. The upper limit is always -1, right? So this is printing the using the start and end method. So let's try to see the next model. Okay, next model very quickly. Okay, 170, this is 8. Now here, what I want to do is I want to use range as only 10, nothing but the 10. When you are trying to use 10, it is trying to print 0 to 10. What if I say as step 2? Okay, step 2 or step 1, let's try to use a step 2 here. When I use step 2, it is just putting that even numbers, right? It is just putting the even numbers. Now let me go for the similar example with the odd numbers. So what it mean by odd numbers? Let's try to put as a 1 here as my start point number. I want to put as maybe 1. Then once I print it out, what I'm going to say is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is giving me everything. So now how do I get the odd numbers in this? So do I need to skip 2 numbers? If I skip 2 numbers, what will happen? Okay, before that, let me not give anything here. Start number is not there. Assume that. If nothing is starting number, if you don't have, it will always print. Okay, it will always print. Okay, it's not printing right now because it's thinking like 10 is the start number and end number is the 1 number. So let's try to have 0 or maybe uh, 3 to 5 or something. Okay, 3 to 9 maybe. I want to skip with 1. So when you're trying to skip with 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, everything I'm getting, that is including my even and odd. When I'm trying to print that one, I'm getting between this range, that is 3 to 9. What are the odd numbers? 3, 5, 7, these are the odd numbers, right? So this is how the range works, but this is what I'm not understanding. What is this for loop? Because we haven't seen what is for loop, right? It's the most a favorite of loops and if conditions for any data types. for in the programming language. So let's try to do one thing now very quickly as we have completed the frozen set and the range. Let me just put it here. Let me sync this. Let me kernel clear all the outputs. All right, so let's try to see one example on using of this modules. I'm using one of the module called Turtle, which we can see later, but I just want to show you the fixed snapshot, how beautifully we can create anything very quickly by using the Python. Okay, I used a import Turtle. Turtle is a module. Okay, a module. So what I want to do is I want to use something called color. Color is my variable name, nothing else. I want to use C. Started using my data type CR. I'm using square brackets. What does it mean? I mean these are my colors. Okay, I'm storing some colors in a variable called colors as a variable. Okay, I'm using red. Let me know some colors, purple, and we have something called, what else? We have something called blue. Okay, use a single quote or double quote, doesn't matter. That's what, whatever you will learn, we have started implementing green. Then I want to go for some orange, some colors I'm using. Once you see the output, you'll see that, okay, we know this. We've been doing with some kind of a art it is, actually, I can say. So I used randomly colors here: red color, purple color, blue color, green, orange, and yellow. Now what I want to do is I want to draw a big picture on my screen with the different colors what I mentioned here. Very beautiful screen we are going to see now. But the thing is, if I want to really do this, I cannot write a very big program. I don't know how to write a big program to create this turtle. Okay, creating with a pen some kind of a circles, right? So I don't know how to create that. But when you take the help of this turtle, which is a module in which we have that properties and methods through which you can easily prepare. So I'm simply using T is nothing but my a variable called T turtle. Turtle dot I want to use as a pen, because with the pen I want to draw it. Okay, I'm not going to do this, my Python is going to tell, but I'm telling my Python how to do it. Say turtle, TURTLE. Okay, so after that, what I want to do is I want to use turtle dot bg color equal to black. So when I'm creating this, I want my screen, entire screen should be blank, black. You can take anything, such as nothing like blank, BLSCK, black. Okay, I want to take a black color here. Then immediately what I want to do is I want to use a loop here, because I keep drawing that circle again and again until the circle becomes big. That is what I cannot write many conditions there. I want to simply use the for loop here. So let's see how to use the for loop. Don't try to understand this program. Just see the flavor of using something. I want to use the size of 360 range. So here I'm started using my tuple. I'm using module. I'm using range. I'm using my single quotes and double quotes. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll quickly use T dot pen color. How, what exactly the color you want when you are doing the coloring. Okay, so I want to use X percentage of 6. That's a size which I want to use, the pen size maybe. uh, then I want to use the T dot width. Then I want to use X divided by 100. So when you are trying to draw it, what is the size you want, and I want to increase by 1. Then I want to use the T dot forward. That means I want to keep drawing it, right? So for that, I want to use a forward, then X. Okay, X is nothing but the variable which you started initially. Then after that, we want to say T dot left size also you want to move. That is randomly, let me give some 59. Okay, so we have created the turtle now, BG color also there. So let me see if I'm written entire program correct. This, yeah. Let me run this amazing one. It will take a minute to show you the entire program. Now let me run it and see if I get any error here. No. All right. Now I'm running the program. It's taking some time to create that one. Invalid syntax 360. What happened? And the BG color 360. Okay, for loops we cannot use directly like this. We need to use the colon there. So we don't know how to use the for loops yet. Don't worry about it. So once I run it, now it's running. My turtle is started already, but I'm not able to see. You can see here. Okay, my turtle is started. It takes some time because it's used a lot of memory. Slowly started writing on your screen. I wanted the background color to be black. That is what my requirement. And slowly it is started writing that information for you on the screen. Oh. Now you can see it started writing that turtle for me, and with all the colors. Actually, this colors is not decided by the system; it's decided by me. You can see red color, purple color, blue color, green color, orange color, yellow. We'll see what is the mistake I've done while doing it, and it is start creating that turtle for you. Okay, earlier we used to do with different sketches and pencils. This is what the Python is doing for you now. It will do a very huge one. You can also increase the speed because I've given a less numbers. You can see width is x by 100 and the range is 360. Once the 360, the left 59x, you can also increase the speed. T dot speed, if you say 10, 20, that is based on the number what you provided, it will increase the speed also. Beautiful turtle with all the colors. You can mention some more color also to make it more beautiful. All right, so that's about the turtle, and don't worry if you're not understanding what I'm trying to show. Just see the output, and you see the how it's really helping you to create big programs by using a simple modules here. I've not written much modules here. Simple thing. Okay. So that's about the turtle. Don't try to understand what exactly it is because it involves a lot of stuff. What I use here for loop, we don't know what is that turtle. We need to understand more about turtle, how I imported, how it is available already in the Jupyter. So we need to talk about a lot of things. I just quickly showed you how easily we can create whatever we want by just using a few lines of code. Okay. So we have covered all the data types. We have covered all the data types in Python. Nothing is left, and we'll try to use this without using this data. We cannot write any program anyway. So we'll keep recapping this data types whenever you use it. So today, what we have seen is a range. We have seen frozen set. We have seen dictionary. More importantly, so try to concentrate more on the dictionary, which is a more important. It's a very important data type. All right. That's all for today, and have a great weekend. See you on the next week's session.